Carl Gustav Jung whispered a secret to the wind, one that few dare to hear. Solitude is both a balm and a poison. Why? Because once you experience the profound serenity it offers, the clamor of the crowds becomes almost unbearable. Welcome to Voyage Inconscient. Together, we will explore the depths of the psyche, the collective unconscious, and the teachings of Carl Jung. Get ready to discover new dimensions of yourself and the universe around us. Who, having discovered the peace of silence, would want to return to chaos? Who would prefer the agitation of the outer world after finding refuge within themselves? Jung was not merely a psychiatrist or a philosopher. He was a true explorer of the spirit, an alchemist seeking glimpses of truth in the recesses of the unconscious. His existence, intertwined with the extraordinary, reflected the mystery of his ideas. Behind the man who introduced concepts like archetypes and the unconscious to the world lie fascinating stories that reveal a restless mind, profoundly human and steeped in mysticism. In his childhood, Jung was not truly alone, though it may have seemed so. In a corner of his imagination, he created an invisible friend, a small mannequin he carved with his own hands, adorned with a hat and a cape. This silent companion became his confidant, a receiver of his deepest thoughts. For him, it wasn't mere play. It was a doorway to the symbolic, a prelude to the connection with mysteries that would later define his work. Was it just a childish fantasy, or did he already sense the archetypes that shape our psyche? Jung was also a traveler, not only through the landscapes of the soul, but also through the physical world. He journeyed across Africa, India, and North America, seeking to understand how different cultures, separated by oceans and mountains, interpreted dreams and myths. He observed rituals, listened to ancestral stories, and participated in shamanic ceremonies. In those experiences, he found echoes of a universal truth, a thread connecting all humanity in the tapestry of the collective unconscious. However, his greatest journey was into solitude. In Bollingen, on the shores of Lake Zurich, he built a stone tower that became his personal refuge. There, surrounded by nature, he wrote, meditated, and found a primal peace. In a letter, he confessed to feeling a deep communion with the stones, trees, and water which he regarded as his true friends. It is moving to imagine this great thinker sharing his silences with the forest and the lake, finding solace in the murmurs of the natural world. But Jung was not merely a mystic absorbed in thought. He also had a practical and approachable side that surprises many. He enjoyed card games and spent time woodworking, not as a trivial task, but as a ritual that connected him to something essential. While working with wood, he said he felt balanced. When building furniture or carving an object, he perceived his inner self aligning. It seems almost unbelievable that this man, capable of exploring the depths of the human soul, would also spend hours perfecting a card game or crafting a table with dedication. Jung lived between two worlds, the visible and the intangible, the everyday and the transcendent. In both he found meaning, and in both he left a mark that endures. His life was more than that of a scholar. It was that of an indefatigable seeker. It was the existence of a poet of the spirit, a builder of bridges between the tangible and the intangible, a life that, even in its most peculiar aspects, invites reflection on the enigmas we carry within. The solitary traveler walks paths incomprehensible to others. They are seen as strangers, a discordant note in a melody of conformity. What drives such a decision? Is it defiance or a survival instinct? Often, those who choose solitude are not broken. They have simply chosen to be free. Free from the invisible chains many wear with pride. Should the lone wolf fear the herd? Or is it the herd that fears the wolf? An aura of mystery surrounds those who walk alone, and that mystery unsettles others. In a world that exalts constant connection, how can someone choose to step away? And yet, it is not strange. For some, company does not heal wounds. If relationships have been a source of suffering, is it not natural to seek solace in the refuge of solitude? Think about this. You wake up in a home wrapped in silence. There are no voices demanding your attention, no footsteps interrupting your calm. You walk into the kitchen, and every corner reflects your essence. No compromises. That space, that time, belongs solely to you. Isn't that freedom? Isn't it a privilege that few allow themselves? Solitude is a secret garden where independence flourishes. In that isolation behind closed doors, you become the sole sovereign of your world. There are no criticisms or demands, only the soft echo of your thoughts. But is this isolation an oasis or an illusion? The answer, as always, depends on who you are and what you desire. It is true that relationships can enrich life, but it is also true that they are often a source of anguish. How many times does harm come not from our surroundings, but from the people around us? How many places, offices, schools, or even homes become unbearable due to the presence of toxic individuals? We are, as someone once said, both the bearers of the greatest comfort and the causes of the deepest suffering. Where is the balance? Must we carry the weight of the world for fear of being alone? Marcus Aurelius, with his Stoic vision, faced human tensions daily, while a Taoist sage, retreating to a riverside, rejected a kingdom to find peace fishing in solitude. What would you choose? Would you opt for the clamor or the silence? Because solitude, when fully embraced, becomes a loyal companion. It is in solitude, as Schopenhauer suggested, that a man can find his true freedom. In silence, there are no masks to wear, no judgments to fear. It is a clean, untouched space where you can meet yourself without external distractions. But what is it that we truly fear about that encounter? Is it the fear of silence or of what that silence might reveal? Perhaps what frightens us is that by stepping away from external noise, we are left to face the echo of our own questions. Who am I when there are no eyes watching me? What do I desire when there are no external expectations shaping my choices? Solitude is not a punishment. It is a gift. It is a blank canvas, a pause in the symphony of life, a reminder that we are enough just as we are. In the teachings of Jung, the Taoists, and Schopenhauer, we find a recurring message. In solitude, nothing is lost, something is gained. Clarity, serenity, and the opportunity to live by our own rules. So, why are we so afraid of being alone? Is company always preferable? Or perhaps we have forgotten how to enjoy our own presence. Reflect on this. In solitude, you may not find all the answers, but you will be able to ask the right questions, and sometimes that is all you need. Arthur Schopenhauer, with his lucid perception of life, left a profound reflection. Those who do not appreciate solitude will never know freedom, because only in solitude are we truly free. Why? Because in that intimate space, there are no societal rules, no external demands, and no obligations to fulfill. Only the bare essence of oneself remains. In solitude, your thoughts flow without restrictions, and no social chains limit your voice. It is a space to surrender to your most peculiar passions without fear of judgment. Who could criticize a private world, a sanctuary where the external noise fades, leaving only the echo of your being? Isn't it preferable to embrace this voluntary isolation than to remain surrounded by company that doesn't compliment you? Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our reflections and analyses on the works of Carl Jung. Join our community and begin your own unconscious journey towards self-discovery and transformation. The great spiritual traditions have understood this value. Buddhism, for instance, has exalted solitude as a path to enlightenment. Buddha taught the importance of withdrawing from social clamor, reminding us that peace and clarity are born from silence. Carl Jung and other thinkers also recognized solitude as fertile ground for self-knowledge. Jean-Jacques Rousseau found refuge in isolation from the hostility of the human world, enjoying the eternal serenity of nature. Henry David Thoreau, living in a secluded forest, discovered that by simplifying his external life, he could uncover an inner richness no society could offer. And what lessons might we draw from these explorers of isolation? In ancient texts like the Rhinoceros Sutra, the value of moving forward in solitude is celebrated. This Buddhist scripture compares the human being to a strong, independent, and resilient rhinoceros. The metaphor invites us to detach from attachments and expectations, to walk freely, unburdened by desire or aversion. Why? Because relationships, though sweet in appearance, often bring burdens that weigh on the spirit. Sensory pleasures, for instance, are fleeting, and behind their initial sweetness often lies suffering. Constant interaction with others, while necessary in moderation, can distance us from what is essential: reflection, meditation, and reconnecting with our true nature. Thus, the rhinoceros becomes a symbol of wisdom, advancing in solitude with calm and equanimity in the face of life's challenges. This ancient sutra reminds us, having abandoned passion and illusion, breaking the chains that bind the soul, walk alone like a rhinoceros. Isn't it in solitude that we truly come to see ourselves as we are? It is in that intimate space that we question everything we have accepted without analysis. The traditions, the norms, the beliefs we follow, often without asking whether they truly belong to us or are merely echoes of the world around us. The ancient Taoist sages understood this deeply. They rejected the rigid structures of society to return to a more authentic essence, the limitless. The Tao and solitude became their refuge, an escape from external influences that sought to mold their spirits. Similarly, Thoreau, during his time in the woods, found in self-sufficiency and nature a remedy for the noise of social life. Reflect for a moment. Most people live immersed in constant distractions. Friends, colleagues, family, and even technological devices demand small fractions of our attention. When was the last time you experienced a moment that was entirely yours? This incessant noise pulls us away from what gives us life and to what we will eventually return. The great Mother Nature, silently nurturing everything that exists without urgency. Friedrich Nietzsche, on the other hand, had a different view of solitude. For him, it wasn't so much a spiritual pursuit or a connection with nature as it was an act of rebellion. To withdraw from the herd meant liberating oneself from what he called the slave morality, a system that subjugates and domesticates. In isolation, Nietzsche saw the possibility of transcending imposed norms and building genuine values. What does this mean for us? Perhaps, in solitude, we can rediscover who we truly are. This state offers a unique opportunity to know ourselves, embrace our individuality, and redefine our essence. Whether by seeking enlightenment, breaking cultural chains, or simply enjoying the peace of being alone. It's no wonder that so many people secretly long for solitude. However, finding balance is essential. Unwanted solitude can be a heavy burden, a painful isolation, but being surrounded by poor company and longing to escape is an even deeper suffering. How, then, do we find that middle ground? Perhaps the key lies in daily introspection, listening closely to our own needs and having the courage to respond to them. Changing our relationship with solitude requires bravery, the courage to recognize what we truly need, to distance ourselves from harmful connections, and to face the silence without fear. In that unrestricted space, we discover a strength we didn't know we had, the ability to be ourselves without compromise. Yet, ideas, no matter how profound, are not enough on their own. They must be materialized into concrete actions that transform our daily lives. How? Then, can we use these reflections to free ourselves from social constraints and find a more authentic happiness? The first step might be reconnecting with our forgotten passions. Do you remember who you were before the world wrapped you in its constant agitation? Solitude can be a beacon, illuminating the path back to those dormant passions. Writing, painting, playing music, or learning something new. It is a space where distractions fade, allowing us to rediscover what truly ignites our spirit. Rediscover what once ignited your spirit. In that rediscovery lies a strength that nothing and no one can take from you, the ability to be authentic, create a personal refuge, a space where the noise of the world cannot reach you. In such a chaotic reality, having your own sanctuary is essential. It could be a corner of your home or an outdoor spot that inspires peace. Personalize it and make it yours. That place will be the stronghold where your thoughts can flow freely, an inviolable space far from external impositions. Disconnect from technology, even if just for a brief moment. Constant alerts and notifications steal our attention, our time, and ultimately, our peace of mind. Turning off your phone, disconnecting from social media, and embracing silence may feel like a void at first, but within that apparent nothingness, the voices that truly matter will emerge. Your ideas, your dreams, your essence. Make introspection a daily habit. Gift yourself a few moments each day to reflect. Write in a journal, meditate, or simply sit in stillness. Ask yourself, asterisk, what do I truly desire? What do I do just to meet others' expectations? Asterisk, within these questions lies the path to a life more aligned with your own values. Simplify to find tranquility. Carl Jung found peace in the simplicity of balling in. What could you simplify in your life? Perhaps your physical environment by letting go of the unnecessary. Or maybe your social commitments, releasing relationships that drain you. In simplicity, you will find a clarity that chaos cannot offer. Strengthen your independence. Autonomy is not just an emotional refuge, but also a powerful tool for freeing yourself from dependencies. Learn to rely less on the system. Save money, acquire new skills, and invest in practical knowledge that makes you self-sufficient. Every step toward independence is a step toward a more genuine freedom. Reconnect with nature. In it, there are no demands or conditions. Walk among the trees, listen to the murmur of the wind, or feel the texture of the earth beneath your feet. In the vastness of nature, you will find lessons in humility and a profound sense of connection. There, beneath the infinite sky, you will remember that you are part of something far greater than any artificial structure. These practices can not only help you find serenity and solitude, but also equip you with tools to free yourself from the traps of the system, reconnect with your essence, and build a life of true purpose. As you reach the end of this path, one final reflection arises. What is it that you truly fear about solitude? Is it the silence that unsettles you, or what that silence might reveal? Solitude is not a void. It is a mirror. In that reflection, amidst shadows and light, you will discover the face you've always longed to see, your own, without masks or concessions. Solitude is the refuge of the brave, of those who dare to confront the questions that external noise tries to drown out. It is better to walk alone than to long for solitude. It is more authentic to move forward alone than to fade like a shadow in the crowd. In that solitude lies a power no one can take from you. Freedom. However, reflection is not enough. Feeling is not sufficient. Action is necessary, because knowledge without action is like a ship that never sets sail. Write down your dreams. Build your personal refuge. Disconnect from the system that oppresses you, and immerse yourself in nature. Let the murmur of the wind and the whisper of the trees remind you of who you are. In this shared space, reflect on what solitude means to you. Allow this inner journey to be the beginning of profound change, a step toward a more authentic connection with yourself and with what truly matters. This is only part of the journey. Your exploration of the unconscious continues. Click on the next video to keep uncovering the teachings and secrets that Carl Jung left for humanity. See you in the next episode of Unconscious Journey.